Hi guys, just a quick little showing a few things I did on my Austar 1/10 chassis, same brother company as Injora, and it's pretty much a copy of the SCX-10 crawler. Well, first thing, I guess when I ordered it, the most of the complaints, it had some bump steer, but I fixed that by putting my servo in from the bottom. So basically the servo is dropped down a little bit. You're meant to mount it way up on top of the plate, but I mounted it under. So when there's weight on the truck, there's hardly any bump steer. It reduces this angle. Otherwise, when this rod is way up high, you get some bump steer. But, on crawlers, you're not screaming fast, but some people complained about that. Other ways to do it is a servo mounted on the axle, like this little Jeep right from the factory. It came with a little servo mounted right on the axle. So, there's really no right and wrong. You can do whatever you want to do. And then I love this body. It's Austar body. It's the 78 Ford F150, but the Ranger version with the square headlights, the regular 78, like my friend's mom and dad had the old round headlights. So kind of a cool truck. And I like old trucks because I grew up on a farm. My dad had a 67 Chevy truck, and then he also had a 49 Ford truck that was a farm truck way before I was born, but then I fixed it up and got it running when I was a teenager. So I like old trucks. So I had seen this truck body. Well, I'm like, well, what am I going to do with the box, So I kind of did something a little crazy. I bought the Austar Honcho bed that's for their hard body Jeep. And I'm like, I'm just going to see what happens. Well, it works. I got this all bolted on how it's meant to be. And then with this cab, I just put some zip ties up front on the bumper so it's hinged. And then the magnets there help hold it in place. But for some big off-roading, sometimes the cab would kind of move around. So I just got these little plastic coated wire ties that I tie it down a little better to the bed. I'm not in any competitions with anybody else. I live on an island. I'm probably the only one with a crawler on this island, so I just do it for me. And then pretty basic underneath. It's all stock shocks, and then New Rain ESC, the stock 540 in there, winch. And then the rack on top I 3D printed. All it is a WPL rack on Thingiverse, and I just measured how big I wanted it for this truck, and I just kind of blew it up in the slicer program and printed it. It works great. Barrel I had bought, gas can I had bought, fire extinguisher, and then I 3D printed a chainsaw and a little double-sided tape. And then these are Super Swamper tires, Austar brand. But to me, the rims were kind of plain, and I don't like that. I always like nice-looking wheels on my truck. Well, I got this big 1/8 ZD racing buggy, and I had some of the extra nuts. So I just laid it in there. I'm like, oh, that looks perfect, because I had a Super Duty truck, and it pretty much had those kind of center caps to cover the 8 lug nuts, and it was aluminum wheels. It had the V10 and a 5-speed. It was my big truck for pulling my bay boat. So I dropped those in there. I'm like, oh, that's perfect. And I'm like, well, how's it going to stay there? So being a mechanic most of my life, always using gasket maker, I just dabbed a little bit on the back of it, of the nut, and it just has stuck in the rim. And I don't change these tires or take them off, really. I don't even have another set to put on. So it's fine like that. And, a gasket maker is flexible. If I want to take them off, just take a little screwdriver, pop it loose, do what I got to do, and then reattach it with some gasket maker again. So, yeah, where I'm at in the Philippines, I can get parts out of China in 8 days for this. Some stuff is stocked in Manila, so maybe that's like 4 days to get it. So for me, this is a good brand. If I went with the real Traxxas brand or the real SCX-10, it's hard for me because I'm a 24-hour drive away from Manila. So to get parts, I have to get in contact with one of the hobby shops there, and then the shipping is expensive. When I just buy this stuff online, the shipping is just $1 out of the China to the Philippines to my house online because they do such mass quantities. They have a deal with the shipping companies. Plus, there's really no tariffs or anything coming from China to the Philippines. In all the groups I'm in, people complain about $60 US shipping to get something out of China if they buy something like this. And I'm like, wow, for me, it's like $1, sometimes free shipping if you buy something bigger. So, yep, just a quick little overview on this guy. I've had it now probably 4 years, and I don't have a problem with it. You know, if you guys are pro crawlers, then I guess you got to get the really good stuff. But for an extra truck, or for someone like me that just wants to have a bigger truck for crawling and pull some trailers and stuff like that, I really like the Austar brand. I haven't had to replace anything yet, but if I do, I can get the gears, and I can get the transmissions, I can get the axles, and all that stuff real super easy. So thanks a lot. Please subscribe.